sometimes have an expression here, which is that the river is running in someone's veins. I suppose much of my boyhood was spent by the river. It was where we learned to fish. It was where we learned to, if you like, search. But it was searching for worms in the manure heaps that were then common at the back of the gardens, like, you know, before we went fishing. It was there we made friends, and in the very real sense, it was there we courted as well, even when we were quite young, like, you know. There was always the shadow of the bridge into which to go.
Shay Hurley is a teacher, born and raised in Clonmel. Photography is his hobby. The river is his passion. These pictures chronicling the life of that river are the focus of a major exhibition. And every time you walk that river, the camera's around your neck?
Well, not every time, but much of the times. The times that it isn't around my neck when I'm on the river, I'm regretting it, because something always, you see something that you haven't seen before, or some bird, some animal, or some plant.
His purpose is to heighten awareness of a river which had descended, despite appearances, into incredible foulness.
And in the summertime, particularly in latter years, it was just a nightmare. Last time I took the boat out, this is going back now 3 years ago, and I was drawing in the oars. I mean, it was just rotten. I mean, you had matter of various kinds which were actually dripping along the oars. And, but that situation now, thankfully, is resolved, and it should not happen again.
At £24 million, the new sewage treatment plant and pipework are state-of-the-art. Their effect on the river dramatic. And yet when all the foul matter is removed, the phosphates that cause excessive weed growth are still allowed to remain.
The plant has the capacity to remove phosphates.
Why don't you?
From the river. There's no requirement to remove them at the moment.
What, no EU requirement? Or
there's no requirement from anybody to remove it. The EPA, county councils, government.
There is nothing to stop a local authority being proactive on behalf of its own citizenry. And I think, in fact, the fact that the plant is here, you could say, yes, it's due to EU directives, and that is a good thing in itself. But I think the local authority, as I said, can go a step further now, and the EPA, and say, look, lads, you have the capacity, go ahead, do what you can do to the full 100%. And that would be a very, I think, a positive thing for all the people who are living in this valley of the Suir.
Over-enrichment chokes rivers and streams and leaves the entire network still in crisis.
It's quite obvious. You can see the results, you know, of that. That tends to make me angry, because I've seen the river, as I said, from boyhood up to now, and I've seen various manifestations of the life of the river, the trout, the salmon. Where there is pollution in the water, I mean, these are affected.
Regular official testing as part of the Three Rivers Project confirms that dangerous over-enrichment continues. But sewage is only a small element. The finger points at agriculture.
Well, I think if we can show on a pilot basis that the level of pollutants getting into the river can be reduced without compromising farming productivity, I think that'll be a success. People can look at that as an example to be followed.
Do you really believe that's going to happen?
Well, we'd be working very hard, hand in hand with the farmers. We feel that there's nothing to lose here, and that it's certainly worth a shot.
But there's another extraordinary initiative, and perhaps more remarkable because it hasn't cost millions. It's community-based. It involves a group of men on a FOSS course, a group who have become extremely expert at saving rivers. The required speciality is the reinstatement of spawning beds for trout and salmon.
You haven't got a jack in your car, have you?
No, I haven't, no.
Are you coming down to join us?
No, I'm not, but I'd like to take a shot of you there, if you don't mind.
No problem at all.
How about
yes,
yourselves?
no.
Okay, cross the shovels there or something.
Okay.
All right, thanks, lads. Okay, smile.
Same smile.
There she glows.
Right,
Thanks, lads. That's great.
Okay. What we've noticed when we've done counts above here, there's actually no salmon above this spot. we're actually going to create a deeper pool here. We're going to knock out this mass concrete and make an actual pool there.
Where's the diggers? Where's the dynamite? Where's the heavy equipment?
I can tell you, they're here. What we've got to do here is when we're talking to the corporation, as they thought it was just a cap of concrete under, just rocks underneath it. Then we started with our jacks. We actually started with a Kango hammer, made no impression. Then we found out it's mass concrete the whole way down. So we had to get a compressor and 2 jacks, and we've been working ever since.
And they have improvised with great ingenuity, using old Christmas trees, bales of rocks they put together themselves, anything else that came to hand. They have generated £60,000 worth of new fish stock. Their project, captured a frame at a time by Shea Hurley, cost just £80,000. Their esprit de corps is tangible, the pride in their work palpable.
Well, I mean, I'm a tip man, like, you know, I come from Tipperary. It would be hard to ignore the river because, as I say, it's there, it's literally there in my veins. And I suppose the hope is that all these little efforts in time will build to the appreciation of the shore.